A history of the pan flute. I think the panpipe is so old because it is so simple. It was probably preceded only by percussion instruments. After primitive man had produced sound by hitting things, he probably accidentally discovered sound production by blowing across a reed or an animal bone. So a single pipe flute probably comes first. In his development, he started to distinguish between different pitches and to make instruments which could produce tones. So the first step, therefore, in the pan flute's development was joining one pipe to another. It can be said with certainty that the pan flute came into existence in many places throughout the world. In legend, Pan haunted the high hills, and his chief concern was with flocks and herds, not agriculture, and he could make humans, like cattle, stampede in panic terror. In England, Viking panpipes had been found dating from the 10th century, and more evidence can be found in the literature, poetry, and artworks. The pan flute arrived from the east. This Ottoman manuscript is from an age known as the Tulip period. In Romania, the pan flute blossomed from a simple set of pipes played by shepherds to an instrument of professionals. In 1949, Fanica Luca, the father of the modern pan flute, brought forth a magnificent new generation of players. There is evidence of the pan flute in ancient civilizations around the world. Here we have a bas relief from ancient Mesopotamia, one of the earliest cradles of civilization. As we zoom in, we can clearly see a very sophisticated pan flute with 14 pipes. In Egypt, little statues established the existence of the pan flute with 8 to 12 pipes made of bamboo. In India, we find an example of a woman with an instrument of 8 pipes. Evidence of the existence of panpipes in India in the 2nd century AD. In a tomb in China from the 5th century BC, we find a picture of an extremely rich and spiritual culture. In the central chamber, archaeologists found over 100 musical instruments, including this pan flute. Also included were the musicians themselves, 8 young women. In South America, the pan flute is very much alive today. Pan flutes are found throughout the Americas. They have many names and a long history. Today you can find groups such as this all over the world. It's truly a success story. Some people might be surprised to learn that the pan flute took root in the islands of Oceania. Captain Cook is known to have collected some of these instruments on his voyages. In conclusion, I hope you have enjoyed this brief look at the pan flute. It's also my hope that the viewer will be encouraged to further their explorations of this wonderful, expressive instrument. For more information, please visit my website at panflute.net. I hope you enjoyed my little presentation. Thank you. This is Brad White.